They just debuted the other day or week. It's called Bar Capri, and it is the place to be now in West Palm Beach, downtown. Welcome to the Lunchbox, Elizabeth. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for coming. We
Yeah.
haven't done this before. So this is
No,
great.
I've spoken to you in my past life as like a newspaper critic, and then everybody would be fearful when I showed up. It's like, oh no, he's asking me all these questions. Is it going to be good or bad? And again, when I came in the first time to Elisabetta's in Delray Beach, which God, it must be over like 5 years now, right?
Yep, about 4 years ago.
4 years ago,
hmm
and it is again. I was really blown away by the level, the quality of everything that you had there. And again,
Thanks.
similar big time restaurant group also operates and owns Louis Bassi. Of course, they have locations on Las Olas Boulevard, and they've been going strong for it must be over a decade now, or almost,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Louis Bassi's in Boca Raton, and kind of similar concept, but now we put a little bit more of a, I guess, feminine spin. I don't know. I mean, the colors coordinate. How would you describe the difference between the two? Forget my
Don't
words.
get in trouble.
Yeah.
Elizabeth said.
It was just sort of an organic expression of the brand to add to the family of Italian restaurants. We call them our Italian Lux restaurant group. So Elisabetta's is really just like the little sister restaurant for Louis Bassi's. We do a lot of the same dishes and celebrate our authentic Italian cuisine in both locations, all four locations.
So now, for those who may have not been to one of the, Louis Bassi's or Elisabetta's, you pride yourself on pretty much doing everything in house, everything from the bread to the pastas and even the salumi, the what do you call it? The antipasto. Salumi. I'm always terrible. Salumaria.
Some people say salami. We say salumi in
Salumi.
Italian.
But it's the
Yes.
cured meats and the
Right.
antipasto platters, we called
Right,
it
right,
when I was
exactly.
growing up in Brooklyn.
Wait, you're from Brooklyn?
Yeah,
He's a
originally.
Brooklyn original. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah.
That's like
what
the
about
center
you?
of the universe for
Are
me.
you?
No, oh, really?
So, God, yeah, Brooklyn is amazing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a
I just was up
hotbed
there.
of great restaurant culture and
It's
ingenuity.
yeah.
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, right.
Oh, well.
Another
It's,
great,
it's pretty good food
great
town.
restaurant town. Yeah, yeah.
Chicago is a great food town. One of my favorite cities to visit when I was a sports writer. But yeah, I mean, we have an appreciation for good food, obviously in Brooklyn, especially good Italian food, Italian American. I guess some people are okay. We're going to be we're simulcasting on the wonderful Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, almost 150,000 strong at this point, and a lot of times people get into arguments about Italian food and authentic Italian, and then there's Italian American, and now obviously the competition here in South Florida is fierce. I like all styles, but how would you describe what you're going for here in terms of the cuisine
Yeah.
and the type of Italian?
So, are we going to fight about this?
No, I don't have
Chicago
No,
versus
he's going to
Brooklyn
study whatever you say.
style pizza.
Go with what you say.
The
That's,
Chicago pizza is not my favorite. I got to say.
the deep dish.
Yeah, not
it's
my
a cheese
favorite.
casserole. It's not pizza.
No, it's not pizza.
Cheese
For
casserole.
me, pizza is like the way we do it. That's my favorite, which is more of a close Neapolitan style from Naples.
Yeah, and
But authentic. I mean, we're inspired by Italian food, the cuisine of Italy, the traditions, the products, and the dishes and the recipes. But the Italians that immigrated here, came first to New York City from Italy, brought all of those flavors and all of those memories and nostalgia, and had to make adaptations to cook here with products that weren't necessarily the same. And it's a great cuisine, a great subset of a cuisine. So there's a lot of dishes that we do that I think really are, they have their originality, their provenance in New York City. It's a great, like a innovator of Italian food with a twist. So you see many, many different styles of Italian food regionally. It's so diverse, and geographically is so different. And through the different terroirs and everything, that the cuisine is way different in the north and in the south.
yeah.
So, but the red sauce kind of style,
The southern
old-fashioned
style,
restaurant,
yeah.
the southern style, people love that, and
Yes.
Americans love it, and
Yes.
we fell in love with it. And I think it's because of the immigrants that came here. They brought their cuisine, and having to find a new jobs here. I think a lot of people went to do what we did, open a restaurant,
Yeah.
and carry on that kind of tradition and work with what they know. And I think Americans that were here became exposed to that and fell in love with that. And so it's a lot of dishes that you would have seen in southern Italy and Rome and Rome.
Yeah.
The Roman pastas was like one of my favorite groups
Yep.
of food.
But I know from my trips to the various, Louis Bossi's and Elisabettas that, you have the pastas with the red sauce, the traditional, the favorites like the spaghetti and meatballs, but you also have risottos on the menu.
We have cacio
and-
pepe. That
Yeah.
that screams Italy to me.
Yeah. Cacio and pepe. I mean, what a dish that has just become such a trendy, popular dish.
exploded.
Who would have
Yep.
thought?
And it's
the
what,
It's
like
a very
four
sim-
ingredients?
It's a
Yeah, it's like-
simplistic pasta, but
pecorino, black pepper, and that's it.
And then it's the magic touch of whisking in the pasta water, a little bit of that
the
to make.
emulsification of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I love when I see that because again, my wife and I were in Italy a year or so ago, and she's a big Italy fan, and I love. I don't know to demean it because she'll stick her nose up and call it American Italian, and I appreciate you going regionalizing it and not tearing it down, but saying it's something that New York has done their take and Chicago has done their take, and that's what I think of it as. Is Italy has authentic Italian dishes, but there's nothing wrong with regions in America, doing their spin on it. But being over there, cacio pepe just makes me feel like I'm in Italy. It's very simple, but when done right, it is a lot of flavor and it's fantastic.
Well, we respect Italian cuisine and its traditions,
Yeah.
and so we brought the dishes that we love, to these restaurants, and to say that we're authentic, I can't say we're authentic because we're not in Rome,
not
right?
in
Well,
Italy,
authentic
we're doing
means a million
You're
things to
trying.
different people.
Exactly.
If your Nona is from the Calabrian region and you're making things from the north, then that's and for me, authentic is like the Brooklyn Italian American stuff I got at places called Gargiulo's and all that stuff. So everybody's definition is different. All I know is, as a food critic, whenever I came into a place, I was looking for good quality ingredients, respect for the process, respect for the ingredients and the culture, and of course, are people happy? Are the guests happy? And are the employees happy? And every big time restaurant that I've gone in, whether it is the Italian themed or of course we got Rocco's Tacos, City Oyster. You guys, how many restaurants you guys operating now?
18.
Oh wow!
How'd that happen?
18 types.
18
18
different
locations,
restaurants, yeah.
and like 8 different concepts.
Right.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Eight,
we have
so that's
8
a lot.
Rocco's Tacos.
8 Rocco's Tacos,
Yeah.
4 of the
Italian.
the Louis Elisabettas, we'll call
Right.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Louis Elisabetta.
so that's 12. City Oyster. What am I missing now?
Grease Burger Bar.
Right.
nice.
Oh,
Which
that's
is
up
right
here in
over
West.
here.
One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. It
Yeah,
always
great
made my
burger.
best of list
Yeah.
because, as the name implies, it's a little bit of a sloppy
But that's what
burger.
you want from a
Some-
friggin' burger.
Yeah, you want some
Yeah.
flavor.
And City Cellar, which
City
is in the
Cellar.
square now.
Oh, and Big City
The square-
Tavern, of
Big
course.
City Tavern.
Still
yeah,
going strong.
on
That
Las
was like
Olas.
the first, or I think.
Well, it wasn't. It was the first when we were on Clematis Street.
Mm-hmm.
But that's now where we have Rocco's Tacos. Yeah,
Yep.
we've been 30 years.
Oh,
Can you
wow.
believe that? Let me start when I was
Wow,
like
30 years.
14.
You've been with this
I was gonna
outfit
say you
since
started when
the
you were
beginning.
8. Wow, good for you.
Yeah, almost 30 years.
That and I was talking with Angelo Elia, another South Florida treasure, Italian in the Italian game with his Casa de Angeles. He's been at it for 28 years. He came over with Burt Rappaport and Prezzo. It's been almost 40 years since he came from. And I was just saying, where the frick did the time
Yeah,
fly?
time go.
It's like
Yeah.
boom. It's just, but onward and
But
upward.
here we are.
And
Here
here
we
we are. And and I mentioned other places because there's so many good places in South Florida, and I hate when people get into comparison saying, "Oh, this is better than that." How about everybody is excellent? Everybody's really doing good work. There's enough to go around with the different people, and you get different styles. I happen to love, the Las Olas Louis I had a couple of my daughter's birthday parties there outside at that gazebo. We
Yeah.
rented it out for the teens, and they got the bocce
It's a
courts back.
piazza.
A piazza, and that's beautiful. Down on Del Rey, you've got that second story balcony overlooking all the action on the avenue. And then up here now, oh my God, you can't beat this view. This is like,
Thanks.
how long did it take to open this place and do the build out? And downstairs is the main dining room,
Yeah, downstairs is the main dining room. And we just opened it during the boat show. We opened Bar Capri.
which is
Bar-
where we're sitting. Yeah.
Bar Capri is our first bar bar only.
Right.
And we are right above Elisabetta, so we have a great view of the water behind us.
I'd say it's
And
what, about 3-4 stories up above.
yeah,
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 and
right above the restaurant. So it's a
beautiful.
spectacular view. So it has a great vibe
Yeah, you
for a loungy kind of
yeah. And so
nice
what's
drink before dinner in the afternoon, happy hour.
and I'm holding the menu here in my hands, and it's got a nice kind of bar type menu where you're doing just explain some of the pizzas, some of the
Yep.
salumi.
Well, we're doing all of our
Yeah.
salumi. You want to? I know you want to say salami, but
Salami.
you're saying salumi.
I'm a Jew from Brooklyn. I just remember Katz's with all the salamis hanging down, and they
Yeah.
have the sign,
Yeah.
"Send the salami to your boy in the army." That was their slogan. So I have that ingrained in my head. But
Okay.
salumi and salumaria
Yeah.
and the of course,
Salumeria.
Salumeria. Is that how it's
you have
pronounced?
to you have to get into
Okay.
the Italian.
I'm terrible with pronunciations. I used to be great with spellings because that's the writer's curse. I can't pronounce a thing.
Well, we
but-
do all of our pizzas up here.
Oh, great.
We just got one.
And
so
we
we're
got
gonna-
one.
yeah,
And
we're
I don't
gonna-
know. Lubie disappeared. This always worries me when Mike
he
Lubie
didn't take the
Lubitz.
pizza, did he?
He's
He's coming back, right?
Thankfully, he did not abscond with the pizza.
So we're
I
bringing
still
our
see it on the bar. He's probably getting like cutlery and knives and forks. He's very, you know what?
Really?
I've domesticated him well because when we started this whole gig about 2 years
There you
ago,
go.
he would eat with his just hands and sometimes with his feet. But now he's become
But
very
you could try. I'd
proper.
like to see him try it. I'd like to see him
And
try.
look at this. I gotta and hopefully we'll get the we've got the wonderful Debbie Abrams here, and she's helping us out. We got look at that. Now I call that, you know, antipasto platter.
Right.
It looks gorgeous. Can you explain? I guess. Well, first of all, we've got the pepperoni pizza and use the cup pepperoni, right?
Yeah, well, that happens when you cook it in the oven. So the oven is a wood burning
Mhm.
oven. It's an Italian oven.
Okay.
So,
Authentic.
yep, and it has a high heat. So you're baking the pizza at a really high temperature. It's 900 degrees at the
Okay.
top of the dome. It's like a beehive style,
Yeah.
Neapolitan style oven. I mean, and it makes beautiful pizza. It's a very simple thing. It's about the way the heat is convected and
Yep.
comes around off the walls, and we have the excessive like char that you see.
I
on
call it the
rim.
leopard spotting of
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's-
outer crust.
Very
It's
good.
gorgeous.
You've been
Yeah,
you've
I-
been
I'm well
talking
trained.
pizza, studying pizza.
I used to win awards for my
Yeah.
criticism. I know a thing or two.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
leoparding is that blistered black spots on the crust that people aren't always used to seeing, but I think they're getting more used to seeing this style of pizza now. It's
Yeah.
very popular.
Again,
yeah.
the Neapolitan, and again for the some of the old New Yorkers who like their slices that they fold. And this, sometimes you can eat a knife and fork pizza. You can use the knife and fork with
Yeah.
the Neapolitan style.
Yep.
I'm still an old school Brooklyn guy. I'm not going to go in yet for the first bite until Lubie gets back. It smells delicious. It looks wonderful. You make fresh mutts in the house? Is that
No, we
or
don't.
is this-
But we use fresh mozzarella, and we import the tomatoes, and it's
Yep.
imported pepperoni. We make the dough in house. It's a 24-hour fermentation.
Right.
So it's a cold fermentation, and it's a very what they call really highly hydrated dough. It's a
Mhm.
very wet dough, and what we explain about it is that water, that extra water in the dough, it makes it a little bit more difficult to work with because it's a very soft dough. This isn't a dough that you can like manhandle and
Right.
toss in the air, but it protects the dough from the high heat.
Mhm.
So it's
900
important.
degrees. What is it? About 90 seconds that you
That's
do
what we
it?
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
900 degrees for 90
90.
seconds.
That makes
yeah.
it simple. That's good.
Yeah.
And then let's get to this wonderful array of the meats and cheeses. And I also see pickled vegetables
Yeah.
and some Marcona almonds, and I see some grapes, and I see some sliced apple.
And
Yeah.
our Parmesan breadsticks have a little red chili flake in them, the grissini, and we make those.
I'm
And
gonna
those,
go in for that right
yeah,
now.
those
Look at that.
those are like my favorite. They're so crispy and skinny and crunchy, and I love that. And we serve the meats and the cheeses just with like little side dishes, little bites of things to go with it and accentuate the flavor. So we've got a truffle honey and the dried figs and cherries with fresh apple. The pickled vegetables just give that bit of acidity for the
it
rich.
cuts the fat
the
of
fat-
the cheese and the
Exactly,
meat.
So we got I call it capicola. What would you call it? Gabagool.
Gabagool. In New Jersey, it's gabagool. In Brooklyn,
Wait,
it's
How
it's
do you say calamari?
galama. Oh man, in Brooklyn we had the best place. And it's funny, I ran into one of the hosts who used to live in Sheepshead Bay.
Ah.
Sheepshead Bay,
The small world.
home to one of my favorite, like, it's called Randazzo's Clam Bar. They're
Yeah, yeah.
famous for their galamar, their calamari. They make a
Yeah.
fried calamari that is to die for, with this sauce that, like, they either get the hot or the mild, and it's
Right.
this thick as sludge tomato sauce that you drag the fried calamari. So
Now I want calamari. We got to order calamari
galamar.
now.
I say so. It's
I can't
gabagool
say it though.
and
I
galamar.
gotta say
But,
calamari.
you know, down
Well, the
here,
secret, the secret is just great fried calamari is buying fresh calamari
Yeah.
from, it's from off of New Jersey.
okay,
So a lot of
Cleaning it.
restaurants aren't using as good quality products, and we use, we source the best that we can. And if we
Oh,
can't
yeah.
buy it, we make it. So we make our olive toasts for
Now, are you
for this.
curing all the meats or some of the meats in
No,
house?
we do some of them in house, and
Yep.
we buy some of them.
Okay, because I
We buy
remember
some
going.
from La Tempesta in
Mhm,
Chicago,
mhm.
and some are imported. We do cure some of them, but we actually, God bless, we're so busy that we can't do all of that production, but we do dry age all of our steaks.
Oh,
Have you
wow.
had a steak here?
This is actually, and I feel bad saying this on air. This is my first time here.
And Elisabetta,
Oh,
have you
my
been to
God.
Louis
Louis
Boss's?
Bossi is my wife's favorite
Okay.
Italian restaurant in,
Well, it's a similar.
out
Yeah.
east.
Yeah.
The pizza with the pear on it. I'm
Yeah.
probably getting it wrong, but she freaking loves it. So yes, I've
Yeah.
been to Louis Bossi. I
Louis
have not been.
invented that pizza. He
I-
won at the Pizza
that-
Expo like 8 years ago
Oh wow.
for that pizza
Nice.
with the gorgonzola.
He got
and
very
the
serious
pears.
about. Didn't he go to some like school with the
Yeah.
Italian pizza?
Yeah, we went together.
you
We
went
went
together? Okay.
to get certified to be pizzaiolos.
Right, which
Yeah,
is
it's a very
it's
serious
a
business.
very
pizza.
serious
very popular.
designation. Oh, and
Yeah.
now we've got the whole crew coming up. Hello, Brooklyn. I was
Come
already
on
talking
in.
about
We've
you
got,
and Sheepshead Bay, and I
we-
loved going to.
we've got silverware because
Oh
he
yeah,
doesn't
we
want
got
you to eat the
setups.
pizza with your feet.
I ran downstairs to make sure we can get some
Oh,
silverware
okay.
because I know Mayo
got
will
a
just go
little-
for it, and
Thanks.
Lisbeth is elegant and classy. So I wanted to make sure Mayo did not just do that.
I got a little
I'm
concerned when you ran away, but we saw that the food was still here, so you
Yeah.
didn't just throw it in the car already. That's good.
I did not.
And we've got here again, beautiful. Thank you so much, Brooklyn. And we've got. So this is the mortadella, right?
Yes.
You know what? I've
Is
got
that your favorite?
silver.
Is that your favorite?
Well, I intrinsically, or I guess reflexively, just go for it because it reminds me of my youth, and I used to have
I
a
It
lot
looks
of
like bologna. It
sandwiches.
I
looks
love
like
that.
the
See,
adult
Americans
bologna.
think that, and it's like so delicious.
It's
And-
Oh, no,
it's
it's a great
not
meat,
just your Oscar Mayer bologna. Let me
No,
tell you
no,
that
it's
it's
not.
got
And, you know, the-
pistachios in there, right? Or
Yeah.
what is it? Yeah, it's.
and
I could
it's-
just eat this plain,
It's
and I
not the
will.
most popular of the meats. Like people like the tartufo, the pepperoncino.
People love pepperoni.
Yeah,
People love the salami.
but
or,
it is special. It is special, and if you know it, and you love it.
I
There's
love it.
nothing like it.
and now I'm.
Well,
giving you-
I think bologna has this connotation of a lower level meat, and maybe it does or doesn't. So I feel like people would like look at that, go no, but it's like no, like it's a really nice, it's a nice flavor.
It's subtle and
was gonna-
rich and creamy. Well, I was in Italy last year, and we were eating outside al fresco in this beautiful piazza. And I went into the restaurant, and at the front door there was a mortadella that was like 16 inches in circumference, and the guy would not let me leave without. And, all the salumis we slice very thinly, right?
Yep.
This guy, I mean, he took a big knife
Like a
and
chunk.
a chunk, and I'm like, I just ate lunch, and he's
Right.
like, no,
Oh,
but,
no.
no,
No,
but
don't tell them
you-
that.
You have to try this.
my
And
girlfriend.
it was so good. It was
My
so good.
girlfriend was explaining because she was in Italy last fall with her daughter, and she used this term, and I'd never heard it before, but cocchetti, like where you go around and have a little snack every couple of.
Cicchetti.
Cicchetti.
Yeah.
Cicchetti. I
That's
got it
like the snacks you have with a drink. So you
Right.
have the aperitivo,
Right.
like a Aperol spritz
Yeah.
that we do,
So this
Campari
is
and soda, and then
what
you
you're
have
going for up here.
Cicchetti.
Bar Capri, it's the home of Cicchetti. You could have
It
a little
is the
snack.
home of Cicchetti.
But what we usually do, and what happens when you go to Italy, or I was just in New Orleans, we ended up having Cicchetti every 2 hours. You go, you have a
Then
little
it's like dinner.
grilled oyster here. No, for me, it's just one continuous loop. It goes one into the other.
It's like the tapas.
It's beautiful.
Tradition, right?
This creamy cheese, is that a Taleggio? What do we got up
That's
there?
Latour, which
Latour.
is a really great
It's like a-
triple cream. That is one of my favorite
Oh
cheeses.
my God.
Yeah, and this one is the
Don't tell my
Roviola.
cardiologist I just ate that.
Well,
it's like, it's so good.
I won't tell if you won't.
It's
Tell.
creamy. Well,
The robiola is one of my favorites. It's like a brie with a washed rind.
I was just gonna say that looks like
And
brie. Interesting.
then we have gorgonzola dolce,
that
which is the
gorgonzola looks like.
creamy gorgonzola.
And
It's like very rich.
truffle honey. What do? You just drizzle that on whatever you want.
Whatever
you
want.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe on the blue cheese there on that
Yeah,
gorgonzola.
that
You know
goes
what?
great. And the truffle pecorino.
I can't even. I'm
goes
I'm
together.
falling all over myself because this is like
I'm actually proud of you.
for me.
Feels like you're controlling yourself.
You know, this morning I was talking about cutting down on the carbs, and when you could just eat meats and cheeses like that,
I mean,
that's keto friendly, right there.
very keto. Very
There you
keto
go.
friendly.
Yeah, this not so much, but
Not so much, but
but
a little bit of carbs goes a long way.
And you guys are always mindful of like having vegetarian options or vegan options or things of that nature. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this has the Sicilian oregano on it, which
Mm.
is the dried Sicilian oregano.
All right, I'm going
Which
to
is
have to
really
have my
special.
first carb bite of the day. Everybody excuse me. And, look, it's the Neapolitan style where it comes out a little bit kind of, in the
You're gonna
middle wetter. But
I
I'm
shall.
a New
Thank you.
Yorker at heart.
This
I'm
is
going to
I
fold
appreciate
this pizza slice
You
here.
know, you got the rules.
He's got the Zoom cam going
I
here.
am.
Lucas.
Well, you
Elisabetta.
this.
Okay.
Do you want to get a zoom of here? First of all, here's the pepperoni, the Neapolitan style, which I am very without any etiquette folding over like a New York slice.
Right
And then you want
forward as well.
Mm.
There you go. Dual angle Mike Mayo eating food.
We got to do this more often.
I'm open for it.
I'm up
We're
for
up
it every
here.
month if you
We
are.
got
We can
the-
go around to all
The
the properties.
view, with the intercoastal, with the boats, with the pepperoni.
That's a delicious. And you know what makes
That's a-
me happy is I'm not like one of these guys that has this big pizza following who's all about it's got to have no flop. I don't mind
well,
flop if
yeah.
that's the style of the pizza.
Thank you.
The dough.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
That
you
is
know,
the battle, but
everybody is subjective. Everybody has their personal preferences.
everybody has their favorite pizza.
And you know what? To me, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Pizza is like sex. Even bad pizza is good. Because I appreciate all styles,
Yep.
and I'll even
All
indulge
types.
in a deep dish Chicago. I love the Detroit style now, and there's
with
places
the cheese, with
that
the
the cheese
cheese
melted over the
crust.
edges.
Yeah.
That's so there's room for all kinds of styles, and this one, and what pops to me, you can just tell right off the bat the quality of the ingredients. That sauce is what pops, and
Yeah.
it's that
Yes.
imported tomatoes.
It's
that,
it's such a simple thing. It's
You can-
such a simple thing.
You can
It's
taste
the
the
dough,
oregano as she was just talking about. You can actually taste the seasoning,
Yeah.
but it's not overwhelming.
It's the dough, the cheese, and the sauce. But when Louie and I went to San Francisco
Ah.
to get certified, right?
Mhm.
We studied with Tony Gemiani, who's a really well-known and successful pizzaiola entrepreneur. He's written a book on pizza, everything pizza, and in his pizzeria, he had like 5 different types of pizza. So he had the New York slice, he had the Detroit, he had the Chicago, he had the Neapolitan.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a true.
That's interesting. I like
He's
that.
And he had different mixers and
Right.
different ovens for different doughs and different
Really?
styles.
That's a
you
serious
have to.
pizzaiola
He's
right
very
there.
serious. He's very
And
serious.
I
That was
also-
like a mecca for
I
him.
also like the fact that he's like me. I call myself a pizza agnostic in that I don't believe in just one style. I believe in all. Like it's
Should embrace all forms
Inclusive
of
when it
Well,
comes to pizza.
Yeah, not agnostic because I believe in all pizza.
Exactly.
So
You're
kind of
inclusive.
polyglot. I guess that I don't even know what I'm talking
Equality
about
when it
anymore.
comes to pizza.
Yes, the quality.
You
And-
can taste the dough.
Yeah.
You can taste the fermentation in the dough a little
And-
bit. You
and
get
I
a
was
crispy
surprised
edge.
when you said that the pepperoni is imported, because usually when I see these, what we call the cup, it's like that Enzo pepperoni. It's out of Buffalo, New York, but this you're getting somewhere from
Yep.
Italy.
Yeah, and we have
it's
a
delicious.
lot of our specialty products that we cook with every day aren't really specialty, but they are imported by a specialty guy.
Mm.
And
So before we go to our first break, and I've lost all track of time because I'm now being consumed
I
by
figured
beautiful
leaving
pizza.
wasn't the greatest idea, but I'm like, I presume Mayo's in good hands.
Yeah, I got worried. But you're back, and you got us all hooked up with the proper silverware and
Accoutrements, as
setups,
they
and
say.
it's all good. I just want to go back to when I first, I guess, talked with you when the original Elisabetta's in Delray Beach opened, and I'll never forget because you were talking about you have this starter dough that you use for the sourdough breads, and
Yeah.
that at that time it was like over 6 years old, and you gave it a name.
yeah,
And I remember that one of the things about the details, and these are the things that stick in my mind about the different chefs, and I love how driven and passionate all of them are, the ones that are at the top level, and you were like, yeah, I got to feed this starter 3 times a day. She's a hungry bitch.
I remember that. Yeah.
I used that in my lead, I remember, because it just stuck out so much.
It's original. I agree.
Is that
Not
starter?
Me, not me. The starter.
The
Yeah,
starter, right.
My wife started
The-
making bread making, so I know very well.
During COVID.
No,
Yeah.
just recently. She's
Oh,
been on TikTok. It was one of the TikTok trends.
Yeah.
And she got real good at it, but she went away for like a week. So I became a starter feeding
Babysitter.
pro. No, I was like a pro. I'm judging it, putting in the right amount of water. So believe me, they can get very hungry.
The name of that one was it?
Well, we had Frankie.
Frankie. I thought-
Frankie was the original.
Oh,
And then it
okay.
was like son of Frankie.
Okay.
Vinny, Vincenza.
Vincenzo.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Our ovens are our ovens. We have a name for our ovens too.
Okay.
We have
What are
Sophia.
they? I want to hear.
Sophia is one of the oven afterwards. Sophia Loren.
Right.
and
She's a beauty.
Marcella.
Marcella Mastriani.
Or Marcella Hazan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think one
Marcella,
of them is
right.
Adele. We
Mhm.
named not Italian,
They
but
have
superstar.
Women's names. Okay.
Yes,
Those
yes.
ovens are.
Yep. Yep. I mean, everything is. It may be a man's world, but in the kitchen we get the female ovens.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that, because I know it's a thing in the past when people, there's an underrepresentation at the top levels of the restaurant game of women, even though, everybody has, the nonas or the grandmas are the ones who usually were cooking at home. Just talk about your journey, and, has it been difficult for you when you were first coming up, and how has it gotten now lately in the year 2024? I can't believe we're this far into the new century.
Yeah. No, it's been great. I've been doing this since I was 19,
Wow.
Mhm.
and I'm 63,
Oh,
and
jeez.
I've been with Big Time almost 30 years. So I haven't felt that it's been as much of an issue for me as some professionals have had.
Well, the guys
Yeah.
you work with, Todd, I mean, they've been very
Embracing
and
inclusive and
minded.
welcoming, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they've been great and very supportive, and it's been a very collaborative, sort of organic growth of the company for over 30 years. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm really proud of what we did, and it's great to see more women in the kitchen now. But there's definitely still more men in the kitchen than women,
Right.
Especially in the management role. So I would love any women to send
Yep.
me their resume.
Mhm.
Nice.
Like,
Are
but
women? I don't even want to get into stereotyping, but are they easier to have as underlings because they're more accepting of a woman boss, or
Have you
now-
faced issues being a woman in the industry, I guess?
I haven't had the struggles that other people have had. I wish
Mhm.
I had like this great epic story, of overcoming these difficulties. But I've found that our teams in general they're really diverse.
Mhm.
From many different backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, and age. A lot of people have come into hospitality that were doing something else and just got bored, and they just
So they
fell
have
in
a
love.
zest.
They fell in love with the sort of the energy of being in a restaurant. And so they're career changers that we work with in the kitchen. So, I mean, it's just a lot of diversity, which has made it fun and engaging. And it is a dynamic situation. So I really appreciate working with young women and young men. A lot of people, it's their first job,
Mhm.
coming into hospitality. They're in between something. They haven't decided what they want to do with their life yet.
Mhm.
And so it's a sort of easy place to slip in and start working. And so you have kind of a responsibility for people, the first job in the workplace, to kind of initiate them into a sense of professionalism
Did-
and discipline.
When you started off, did you think this was going to be your career for life, or did you think it was just a stepping stone to, or a gateway to something else?
N- I I've never thought of doing anything else,
Mm.
Okay.
and I still love it. Is that crazy?
That's great, though.
Yeah.
Well, That's
I feel like it's rare
When you find-
to not get burnt out.
It
That's
explains
amazing.
why you've climbed to the level that you
Thanks.
have, because you
Well,
have the passion, and it's not work to you.
it's not boring.
Mm.
It's changing. It's always changing.
Yeah.
This industry always is. And we'll talk more about that along with some other things. After these words, it's time to take the first break. And before we get to those words, let me just put in a good word about our friends at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market. That's down in Hollywood in Broward, and that's an institution, an icon. It's been there for over 60 years.
Yep.
4191 North State Road 7. And again, with just had the Easter holidays come and go, but now the Passover holidays are approaching, and it's a place where you can stop in and get things for your holiday table. They make their own gefilte fish in house, chopped liver, delicious. They also are known for their obviously wide array of fresh seafood and meats, and of course poultry. That's where the name comes from, Delaware Chicken and Seafood. The crew there, Jose and Gene, will take great care of you. And don't forget, if you're going to be hosting any kind of parties coming up or just home cooking, it's going to be grilling season soon. They've got steaks, they've got all those great house-made sausages, all those varieties, turkey, chicken, along with the classic pork sausages, and of course the grab-and-go items. You don't want to start a party without some of their world-famous fish dip and their salmon dip and all the other things that you can get in there. You can go online, DelawareChicken.com. They're open 7 days a week. You want to go in there and see the beautiful display for yourself. Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
More of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox from Elisabetta's Ristorante here in West Palm Beach, with part of the Big Time Restaurant Group family. After this.
Food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and daily fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. For an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open face smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. We're at Elisabetta's Ristorante Italiano in West Palm Beach with culinary director for Big Time Restaurant Group, Elisabetta Suma. And it's great to be able to kind of sample some of the wares here. We're up at the Bar Capri, which recently opened. Talk a little bit about the nitty gritty. When is the Bar Capri open? Is it every day at a certain time? And what?
We're open 7 days a week for happy hour.
Okay.
And it's
when does happy hour go? 4 to 7 type of thing, Monday through Friday, or okay,
all week,
including the weekends.
Yep.
That's crazy. You got to have to come up to Palm Beach.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful view, as you can see. We got the I guess we call it the marina in the background. You get the breakers you can see across the intracoastal here, and just a gorgeous setting. And I can imagine it's going to be the hot spot for as long as it's going, which should be a pretty long time.
Yeah, it's a fun project for us.
Still some finishing touches up here being done, but again, it's looking like it's really come together nicely. Downstairs, how many seats for the main dining room?
Oh my gosh, I don't know exactly.
I didn't know there
You're putting me on the spot.
I didn't mean to give you a quiz.
I know that.
It's a lot.
Close to
300,
close to 400. I think.
Oh wow! So how many covers you do on let's say a Saturday night in season?
Secret.
Oh man, trade secrets. Is
They do
it
well.
a 4 figure?
I
imagine it's
A
lunch
lot.
and dinner. It's
A
over.
lot.
It's 4 figures. Like over 1,000 covers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
You guys are a machine here. That's why they
it
call
is.
it Big
It is
Time.
a machine. I
Yeah.
mean, the coordination of that effort. Well, Andres Salamanas is our chef, executive chef downstairs, and he
Nice.
does an amazing job with holding it all together. It is a machine. It's a coordination of many, many people. It's a team effort, and we have a lot of employees,
Now,
great managers.
Let me ask you, because like with your title, and now you have what you say, 18 different properties.
That's amazing.
Do you clone yourself? How do you get
I was just
around
gonna
and
ask
monitor quality control along with research and development? And
Yeah.
tell me, how is your typical month broken down in terms of
Well, I think of it more like in the daily.
day to day?
So we have our corporate offices here on Clematis Street.
Mhm.
And I usually start the day there, work with my assistant and the purchasing director on whatever procurement side issues we might be having. And then we have a bunch of meetings. It's a big company.
Yeah.
So I get out of those and get on the road and spend time in each of the restaurants, try to hit probably 2 each day
Mhm.
to do one-on-ones and walkthroughs with
Okay.
the management team there. Each restaurant really runs itself with our management teams.
great.
We have great chefs,
That's
general managers.
What are you
They've been
doing?
with us for a long
Implementing
time.
new things, or you get reports from secret shoppers about things
All of
that they
that.
should be
All
looking
of
at?
it.
Everything. A
All
little
of it,
bit
yeah.
of
New
everything.
dishes
Mhm.
and manager meetings and one-on-ones with people and
Yep.
new equipment, old equipment, cleaning equipment, new menus, new menu items, tasting, new products.
And
Yeah.
in terms of like new dishes, like do you travel also? You mentioned going to Italy a couple of times a year and going to San Francisco for
From
classes.
Chicago.
I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of
New
thing
York.
you
Yeah.
also have to do. You fit that in. And
Yep. A little research and development.
Exactly.
I'll be going. I'm
That's
going
what
to
I call
Sicily.
eating. You know,
Yeah, I call it eating.
It's on my taxes. Again, it's all research. It's research.
100%.
No, but yeah, and like you said, it hasn't gotten old for you. Do you ever get on the line or expo on a certain night if they're shorthanded, or you're beyond that, or do you
No,
miss that?
I don't miss it at
Mhm.
this point that much, but I do try to just blend into the kitchen when
Okay.
I get there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's busy. I like to stand next to somebody maybe I don't know if they're peeling apples and
Did they start
You know,
quaking?
start to. No, I want to hear their story.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Ah,
Good.
who they are, where they came from, and
Nice.
a lot of people are very interested in you know meeting me because I'm one of the owners, and so I like to break down that barrier
Mhm.
and
Mm.
let people feel my passion
Mhm.
and interest and the importance of what we do. I think it's really important what we do. The craft of being a chef,
Yeah.
of being a cook, is a artistic endeavor
Mhm.
in my book.
Yeah.
And I think that learning that craft is a worthwhile thing to do with your life while you're there in the kitchen. And so imbuing it with a sense of the tradition
Mhm.
and the technique. I
Right.
like
It's not just
to
following a recipe. It's not just science. It's art and
it's a
creativity and
rich
passion.
tradition.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing in life.
How did you
what we
first get
do.
into it? I mean, did your mom
Oh.
cook, or were you
Yeah,
like?
my mom is a great cook.
Yeah.
She's still alive and she's a great cook. She doesn't cook as much anymore. I do most of the cooking for her.
Nice.
Yeah, but I got into it. My first job was a breakfast cook.
Okay.
Oh.
My friends all worked in a bar,
Nice.
and
Oh, you would serve them after they're
and-
hungover all night.
You
no,
kept them
they
going.
decided this restaurant. They decided that they were going to open for breakfast.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
isn't that a good idea?
Yeah.
Being open from 6 in the morning
They're
till
like
2
or
in the
3.
morning, right?
Okay.
And I said, "Well, I'll be the cook," and I burned a lot of sheet pans of bacon. Yeah, I was in grew up on the North Shore of Chicago, so
Oh,
there
it
was
didn't even have a flat top. You couldn't just do the eggs and the
no,
omelet.
God,
No,
no.
no.
We do
Okay.
we do that in the oven. But so I had a chef that
Wow.
would come in. My relief chef would come in from the commuter train from the city,
Mhm.
and he was an amazing cook.
Mm.
And I would just like pray till he got there and wait to get bailed out.
But you made it
breakfast is
So I
through.
think
not
that's
easy to
how you
cook.
learn, though. Like that's a
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
or maybe not how you learn, but that's a great way to learn. I know they call it getting thrown into the fire, quote unquote. But
Yeah.
if you pick your head up above water, you
Yeah.
know you're ready to go.
What was
Yeah.
hard about breakfast? I mean, not to sound, but I guess getting the
Everything,
eggs right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
some
What's
people,
this fast? Isn't breakfast fast? I
With
feel like
a
it's
runny
fast.
yolk,
Some
and then the
people-
toast. They
right.
want it burnt. They
They
want
want
it
it.
dry. They want butter. They
Right.
don't want butter. They want the bacon crispy.
soft scrambled, hard
All of that.
scrambled.
Yeah.
And
If I
well,
make
that's-
breakfast at home, it's like I'm making this.
Can
this
I
is what you're
ask
having.
what was your hourly wage on your first gig, your first job? Do you
I
remember?
think it was like $8 an hour or something.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
actually
remember.
not as bad as I thought. I
No,
thought it was
I
going to
don't
be
know.
like in the $4 or $5
No,
range. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I might be inflating that number. I don't
Okay.
really remember. But then I
Adjusted for inflation.
decided,
Yeah.
if I'm going to really do this, I should work in a better restaurant probably than my friend's bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and knocked on the kitchen door of a really great French restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and I waited and waited and waited because no one came to answer the door in the
Right.
kitchen, and snuck in with a produce vendor.
Oh wow!
And,
Really?
yeah. And I saw the guy that I assumed was a chef, and
That's one way of getting your foot in the door is just follow the produce
just
vendor.
go right in.
That's
walk
a
right
great
in.
story. I
Yeah.
didn't. Wow, that's
Yeah,
it. Why
and,
wait?
That was
again,
the beginning.
And
it-
that's again, kids these days, they're so busy on their phones and they're applying online. Indeed, this and that. There's nothing in life like showing up, because
Yeah.
showing up and putting, saying I'm here, I'm
Ah,
ready to work.
We have drinks.
And we've got
We've got
Lubie is here
cocktails.
and he's ready to drink. Well, let's see, we've got some fancy stuff coming.
yeah,
Again, part of the Bar Capri, the bar menu here. And I
this-
love
these are
anything in
all
a
of our
coupe.
drinks.
It makes me feel very classy. I see a cucumber.
You're
Do
a
we know
classy
what
guy,
this
Mike.
is? You should see me eat on this show.
So
Watch the
So
show
we
so
have
much,
a-
so I appreciate that.
hibiscus
Oh, wow.
spiced margarita.
Margarita, okay.
We have our Italian mojito.
Okay.
The Cinque Terre.
Chiquitare.
Yeah, and do you like Aperol spritz or good
I
Negroni?
I
love
like,
an
you know,
Aperol spritz.
sometimes I don't like that kind of bitterness of the, the liqueur, but an Aperol spritz, there's something about it that just screams summertime
Yes.
refreshment. So I do like that. Yeah. And
So yeah, we have an
Negronis.
amazing bar staff and sommelier leader at Edward Edwin has
Mm.
been with us for a long time, and he's like just Machado is the best at what he does, and he comes up with these amazing cocktails in our wine program, and then our director of operations, Christy Bolinosa, refines it.
Does he?
It's-
And that goes across all the four of the Italian
Yeah,
concept. And
yeah.
it's, I don't
And
know what
he's-
this is yet, but I'm.
I can
drinking it.
tell you.
Tell me.
I was gonna let you guess.
It's a
this is-
Bellini? No.
This here is the Pimi Chicleta, which is Pim's liqueur, fresh metal cucumbers and strawberries, Florida citrus, maple syrup, and Atienne Rosé gin. And this is yours is the Cetriolo, which
Cetriolo.
is
Triolo. And the Pim
I'll
Cicletta
let
is
you
like
take over before I
Pim's
butcher it.
cup and a bicicletta. Like
So what's
mixed.
in? So it's in the
this one
Cit-
felt a little bit more sugary, and I know
Citru-
you're
Strawberry cucumber.
And that-
ginger,
was more of a
muddled
champagne.
cukes, prosecco, and Florida citrus. So it's a ginger liqueur with the prosecco, so a little bit of
Refreshing.
bubbly, very refreshing, very spring and summer like, and yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great.
Cheers. Enjoy.
And we
I'm
say
going to
feel
work
weird to
later,
leave.
so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
we
drink.
say
Wasn't sure if we're supposed
say
to drink or not
centani.
drink in front of the
Well, you know,
Chin chin.
chin
chin
chin.
chin. That's right, centani.
Salute.
I
There
always
you
say.
go.
I'm hoping for 100. We'll see.
That's nice, and that's really refreshing. Wow. That's
I love
fantastic.
anything with that cucumber. That
Yeah, the
essence of
cucumber like
in the
cleans
muddle
you
It's
out.
a great
it makes
combination.
it. Yeah, and I've gotten back into gin drinks now, especially in the
Really?
springtime, because I like the herbaceousness, and sometimes you mix it with some.
Gin
Even
does
that
not like me. Gin is not my friend. Gin is not my friend. I stick with
tequila
wine.
That's
used
what
to not
tequila
be
used to be
my
his
friend.
thing.
I'm getting back
Oh,
into
I love
tequila.
tequila.
I had
We have a lot of tequilas at
see,
Rutgers.
I had
Amazing tequila selection.
yeah, I've been starting to get back into sampling and sipping some of those higher end tequilas and the mezcals, and but my 16-year-old self is still in me saying, "No, don't do it anymore." I had a very bad incident when I was in high school, back when the drinking age was
The body
18.
remembers that.
Body
Yeah,
Never
remembers.
forget.
yeah.
Never
It's
forget.
ingrained in the DNA. Hey, let's take our second break, and
Yes,
then we're
sir.
going to come back. I want to talk a little bit about industry wide, how things have changed since the pandemic,
Okay.
what you've learned, what's gotten better, what's gotten more challenging, and we'll do that after these words on the Lunchbox. For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at Betta's in West Palm Beach. The address here is something Banyan Avenue,
Yeah.
right?
Banyan and the ocean.
Banyan
Banyan and the
Exactly.
Intracoastal.
and the Intracoastal. When you see the water and the boats
You know
stop,
you're close.
valet parking, very easy to get to.
We're actually at Bar Capri, though. We're above.
That's
Yes,
true.
we
Correct.
are. This is its
Up on the
own-
roof.
Thank you for the correction.
Up
Bar
on the
Capri,
roof.
open every day for your happy hour, and then also light bites and great cocktails and a beautiful rooftop setting. And it's great when we can show off a new sparkling toy that I guess it is in its brand new infancy. So come on up here, check it out. I definitely highly recommend it. As I also recommend the great food and hospitality that you will find at the big time restaurant groups, Louis Bossi's, Elisabetta's, Rocco's Tacos, and City Oyster along the other properties. City Oyster,
City Cellar,
City Cellar,
Big City
time,
Tavern.
Big City Tavern,
Also Grace Burger Bar right
Grease
over,
Burger,
right there.
all the
Mattis
classics.
Street.
We don't want to leave anybody out. But,
Can't leave anybody out.
so let's talk about that thing that happened like 4 years ago.
What? What happened?
Everybody had to stop in their tracks and say, "Oh no, now what?" And restaurateurs and chefs, they always figure out a way. What was it like during those first few months when restaurant dining rooms were not even open? And then what's it been like since, especially with the labor pool and everything? But it looks like you guys still get some pretty good people in here.
I mean, our experience, like you've heard so many times, I'm sure from other chefs that you've spoken to, it really knocked us off our feet, right? So
being told one day, "Hey, you're all closed, and we're not allowing you to open until we'll figure out when."
I'll never forget that.
Yep.
So I mean, it was so hard to keep up with the changes that were coming at
Well, it was like every
everybody.
week. Yeah.
And rolling with the punches with
Well,
that.
you're
and,
literally fighting for survival. You don't know what's going to happen. Did you
No.
guys pivot to takeout and delivery?
We did a lot of takeout, and we had to limit the seating and have it's amazing to look back and think about the gyrations we went through with putting up the plastic.
It seems so long ago, and
yeah.
yet it is not that far in the past.
It's not. I think we all just wanted to put it behind
We
us.
just wanted it
we're
done.
all blocking it out,
Yeah.
denial, and we've gotten, obviously it still exists, but there are ways to mitigate it now, and thank God. And we have the outdoor
Knock on
seating
wood.
here, which is great for us in South Florida.
Well, we were building this restaurant.
Okay.
We started
Oh,
building
geez.
it right
Oh,
when
oh,
COVID
God.
hit, and come to find out that wasn't going to slow down.
Really?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, no, it just kept
Well,
on
going, all right.
Construction workers were
That
essential
takes
workers.
some foresight because things eventually do
Come back, thank
to an
goodness.
end
Yeah.
and come back. So
But what we had, 150 seats outside. So
that's
in
great.
In this location, that was really great.
was very
and
helpful,
in,
yeah.
of course, I think in the municipalities all up and down the coast were really lenient with restaurateurs to have the outdoor seating
Outdoors, yep.
extended.
Yep.
So that all happened, and the takeout thing happened, and people were baking sourdough and
Yep.
doing all of that, and that all happened to the business. And what happened to the people, to the staff, was that everybody was going through, family
Their own
members
things,
and
yeah.
loved ones. So there was a lot of emotion
Yep.
and difficulty.
uncertainty.
There was no certainty, really. Nobody knew what was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented.
And it dragged on.
And-
We really didn't know how long it was going to go. What I find interesting with life, with downs, there's ups, and whatever happens not only makes it stronger, but you can learn things. Talking to different chefs, restaurateurs, I know they've taken different things out of COVID. Did you take anything, I don't want to say positive, out of what was a really tough time for people, but did you pivot out of it and take anything from it that you didn't do before, or did it reaffirm things that you were doing before? Did anything change from those more difficult times than to now?
Well, just on the business side of things, there was a lot of change that affected us in the supply chain, right? So like our business, like many other businesses, were affected by that. And there was a lot of hardships surrounding that. And so we became more flexible and more facile and more accepting of difficulties. So that was like the business side of it. And then with the customer side of it, the hospitality side, I really feel like everybody, for the most part, reinforced for us sort of why we do what we do, and really underlined the significance of hospitality in people's lives, and how happy people were, and they were putting up with a lot in terms of our maybe some staff reductions. And
when restaurants kind of came back full board, did you retain a lot of the people that were there or before the pandemic, or did you find many of them had gone to different jobs, or they were getting $25 an hour from Amazon and you just couldn't hire them back? Or how have you dealt with the labor stuff, which is
the labor stuff has been one of the biggest challenges of the business side of it for a long time. Not just, I mean, COVID made it worse for sure. So but that just, again, it just made us hyper focused on the culture that we create in the stores, in the
So it made
four
you even more
walls of the
cognizant of
stores.
it than you maybe were before, or
Just
as much.
grateful for the staff,
Okay.
and more focused on we extended some benefits, and just really it felt like people's participation at work was more significant, like
Right.
the time that we spent together.
Mattered.
And yeah, we have a lot of people that worked for us for a long time.
Do you do team building stuff here, or it's just kind of
Every day was team building.
Okay.
Just
You're
surviving
working-
through.
It's just called
you're
being on
working
the
next,
line. Right,
you're
right.
working on the line next to
Yep.
people so closely. It's an intense
Yep.
immersion and like
Yep.
lessons and getting along. And
Definitely a
Yeah.
different.
There's not
culture.
much like being working at a restaurant. It really does bring you together a lot of the time.
yeah, and everybody's got each other's back. That's the focus, is that you had to be so flexible, because maybe somebody was out for a week or 2
You had to
weeks,
say,
and,
okay.
this
Right.
guy on his left was like, oh, I'll do his job, and there was a lot of
With teamwork.
Pitching
it
in
was- yeah,
Interesting.
utility. Yeah, everybody's
There's a
kind
lot
of
of
learning new things.
people were
and
more flexible.
doing what
the,
they had
the
to
staff
do.
was more flexible.
Now,
I
you're-
think hardship brings people together, right? So
true.
everybody was going through. It was a shared experience, and everybody was brought together by this shared experience of these tragedies. And
yeah, people
crazy
did
time,
lose
yeah.
people. People had
Yeah.
It's again, it's we're still processing it all.
Yeah, still, yeah.
But what I'm very happy about is that we kind of have made our way through the hardest part, and we're
Yeah, so
restaurants are back, and we have all kinds of great options, including the ones that you find here. Elisabetta's Bar Capri. This is just a stunning build out. I mean, the
people
ground
keep
floor-
chiming in about how great the view is. So we did capture that. I'm like,
Good job,
I'm
Lubie.
glad you guys could see that, because
You see behind
it is
stuff, you can see
spectacular.
behind
The
me.
view is, and
You've
it
seen our
matches the food
faces.
well, but
I mean,
it's
Elisabetta
fantastic.
is obviously, that's a face that you want to look at. I don't know about me and Lubie so much anymore.
But you can look past us to a ridiculously amazing view
It
at
is
the marina.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It really is.
and
There's
we
a
really,
breeze up here too.
it's
yes,
gorgeous.
it's fantastic.
All right, we got to take one more break, do some more business, and then we're going to wrap up this edition. But man, it will not be my last time here. I now know on the Let's Eat group, anytime anybody's saying, "Oh, where can I get a good waterfront view?" Dinner or brunch. You do the weekend brunch both days, or is it just kind of lunch
no,
service?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday
Yeah,
and Sunday
brunch,
brunch.
is huge for
It's
us.
South Florida.
People love brunch, right?
People
With the
love
it's a
the
whole-
bottomless
it's a whole thing.
cocktails, you
Yep.
have those options.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there's your answer, folks. Anytime it's asked, which is only about like 5
Right
times
here.
a day on Let's See, Elisabetta's West Palm Beach. I think that's your answer for beautiful waterfront location with
With
weekend
wind.
brunch.
No, it's great.
We'll be back on the Lunchbox after these words. For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. We're at Elisabetta's, actually, correction, Bar Capri.
Yes.
The
get it
rooftop,
right,
the new
sir.
rooftop here, right on downtown West Palm Beach at the corner of Banyan and the Intracoastal. When you hit the water, stop.
You've gone too far.
You're going to get wet. Here, you're going to get well fed and well sated.
Well,
and
what,
all
and
the great
before we
drinks.
go, I know
Yeah.
we're gonna get. I know you're a busy person, but I always like to talk to like the chefs, restaurateurs about like the food scenes, and you being from Chicago, one of the great food scenes in the world. San Francisco, one of my favorite food scenes. We talked about New Orleans, you talked about New York. It's funny, South Florida for years. I don't know if it was even discussed, but when you go from, and again, we've become one region, West Palm Beach to Miami is South Florida. What are your thoughts on the South Florida food scene? Because we've talked to a lot of chefs. Sometimes the more north they go, they get a little bit more frustrated because Miami may be a little bit more open. But I doing the show, I feel like Broward, Palm Beach is learning and catching up. What are your thoughts on the South Florida food scene overall?
Over the 30 years that you've been
You've been here a long time, yeah.
We could
Well,
do that all day. We could talk all day about
Yeah,
that.
that's a big question. How much time do
The
we have?
30-second soundbite.
Just
Yeah,
well,
I mean, my blink is that we were sort of behind the time for a while. So it was an opportunity to innovate. And I think that we as a group took advantage of that
Yep.
and tried to, just stand out with quality, technique, and
Right.
integrity in the restaurants that we opened. And there have been a lot of great restaurants moving down. You see a lot of restaurant groups in Miami and some coming up this way. I think that's an effect of COVID. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From restaurateurs
Moving north,
all over
yeah.
the country. And I guess what Lubie was alluding to is like in Miami, it's a more international cultural city where people are open to all types of cuisine. Broward, for a long time, the stigma was, people had maybe some plain Jane tastes and you couldn't do anything too adventurous. What's it been like here at West Palm and, the north, the Palm Beach County
food
area?
scene.
There's a lot of innovation and originality. And
Nice.
the thing that I think is very exciting is that there's a lot more farms. So there's
cool.
a lot
That's-
more
and great ingredients, fresh.
local
Yeah.
ingredients.
That's a
'cause
great
That
point.
was happening everywhere in the
Yeah.
Right.
country. And they're catching up now.
Nice.
Obviously,
so-
here, just west of all the
Yeah.
developed land, you
Yeah.
have Loxahatchee and
Yeah.
all these.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
and really,
great
and there are
farmland.
these farms that you get really great fresh produce, and they have hothouses. They grow things year round. I mean, it must be just tremendous as a chef to be able to get that.
Grind of the
we
community. and get it.
finally have that access to,
Yeah.
and I was at the farms, Gratitude Farms,
Mhm.
like 2 weeks ago with my friends, getting a tour of their mushroom
Oh, wow.
operation, which is fascinating. And
I've
we
been
buy
known to
their- we buy
dabble in
their-
mushrooms. Oh wait, yeah, also on the plate
The
too.
edible.
But I'm sorry.
Right. But all of the
Like mushrooms of all kinds.
the fancy edible mushrooms for
Yes.
cooking with Mike for cooking.
Yes.
Non-psychoactive,
Yes,
just the ones
yes.
that sit so
Just
good.
make
in
your
belly.
stomach happy, not
Make
your
my
brain as
palate
much. As.
dance.
But I would go to New York just to go to the farmers markets, in the city.
Yeah, Union Square has a good one.
Right. I mean,
but
that
and they're all
was a
coming
day
down
trip.
It feels like we're catching
from the
like you
Hudson
said.
But
Valley.
now we're getting that more and more here,
it's-
and more. What's the most exciting thing too? That I just heard this from my meeting with my produce guy. I've been buying produce from the same guy for 40 years.
Wow.
Scalisi Produce.
That's amazing.
And we were talking about how not just like the tech people are coming to Florida, Texas from California, leaving California, but growers are.
Oh,
So we have
agriculture.
people-
Interesting.
We have
Okay.
people come from Salinas Valley and stuff coming here.
Yeah,
in
it's
Florida
drying up
to
there,
grow.
and see here it
So
seems to
that's
rain
amazing.
every summer, not-
Yes.
without fail.
Yeah.
So
for crops, yeah.
that's something I haven't think. Now, is there enough farmland to still be farmed and developed? Because again, obviously the big
growth, yeah.
city folk and the
Yeah.
building always encroaches, but I guess there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Drive north.
Yeah, that's true.
And all that land around Lake Okeechobee. I was
Yeah.
talking about
And
this with
that's
Jordan.
a good point. A lot of citrus groves have gone under, but that land is still, I
And
guess,
rich
there.
soil.
Yeah. So,
My chef at City Oyster, Jordan Stilley.
Yeah.
You got to talk. You got to go
Yeah.
talk to Jordan.
oh, let's
He's
go eat some
amazing.
oysters.
I'm open
Yeah,
to
you
it.
got to
Yeah.
eat some oysters.
Sounds fun.
We were talking about that land around Lake Okeechobee, how it's called black gold, the soil. It's
Really?
so
It's
great for
fertile now.
growing. And where citrus is maybe changing.
Mhm.
And now we have
And
these
that's also
California
good for the land.
growers.
You change the different crops that are
Yep.
cultivated on it.
Mix it up.
So-
That's fascinating. And again, gave me an angle I didn't even think of, but that explains a lot. Just the access to the produce, and
Yeah.
it's been helping everybody out. All right, we could chat all day, but we got to
We
get
could. We
going.
could chat all
Are we
day.
done with all our breaks and all
Yes,
our
sir.
business? All right,
All the
that
business
sounds
is
good to
taken
me.
care of, my friend.
Double header. I'm whipped. I can't tell you anymore. It's like
I can keep going. If they're going to put out stuff like this and have great conversation, I could go all day.
I gotta call it work, Elizabeth. Otherwise, somebody
Yeah.
will be on to me. But get to go around all these great places.
So we
have
need
all
to order
these
more
ex-
pizza, though.
I
We have
gotta
like
take it
12
easy on
different
the
types of
carbs.
pizza.
You could bring that the triple cream. What's that called
Yeah, the
again?
cheese is
The
lovely.
Latour.
Latour. How do you spell that?
Latur.
Latour.
Very simple.
Yeah, Latour. It's
Because
amazing.
that
right?
is freaking phenomenal. I love that. You could just spread that on pretty much anything.
Anything.
And I will be one happy fat man. All right, that's gonna do it for today. What a pleasure. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Thanks so
Elizabeth.
much. Hey, it's great.
Thanks
This
to
has been
Great.
everybody
fantastic.
here,
Thank
the
you
big
so
time
much.
team, doing a tremendous job. Come on out, Elisabetta's locations in Delray Beach, and here the newest one, absolutely gorgeous,
Right
Bar
on the
Capri
water,
up top,
fantastic.
Or Capri.
West Palm Beach.
Thanks.
Of course, Louis
Thank you.
Bossi's the original, down on Las Olas, which is still just
And
crushing it.
Boca Raton.
And of course, Boca.
Okay.
But yeah, the Las Olas, every time I drive by there, just
Oh,
throngs
yeah.
of people just waiting to get in. And you know you're doing something right if that's the case. A big time restaurant group. They are truly big time. All right. That's going to do it for today. Tomorrow, we're going to be at a competitor. We can't even one of our newest, but beautiful location, Lauderdale by the Sea, Taco Craft. You know, hey, there's a lot of the Mexicans in town. And I tell you what, that's another thing where the bar has been raised. Everybody's doing it well.
Yep.
Remember the days, Lubie, when Taco Tuesday meant just those hard shell old El
Ortega.
Paso with some sloppy Joe mix in it?
No,
Now,
we
if
make all of our tortillas.
Right, if
in
you don't
house.
have the blue
Tacos is
corn-
set
all
up
of our
tone.
tortillas.
if you don't have the blue corn tortillas and the guacamole that's being prepared tableside, forget about it. These people have
Exactly.
gotten very, very savvy. So anyway, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Enjoy every pizza, enjoy every salumi, and enjoy every sandwich.